Oh, it's not you, it's me. Oh, wait, we're live. Okay. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Two Geeks Talking is an entertainment industry interview show where we interview the creative people from the comic, film, TV, movie, and video game industry. Now, of course, I'm your host, Kurt Sasso. We're on episode 376 of I think we're on like episode 20 of 42 of our 42-day challenge in 42 days. And 42 interview challenge in 42 days is pretty crazy. And we're joined today by a fellow Windsor, Ontario, Essex County filmmaker who is doing a wonderful series called Cooked. You may have heard back on episode 363 with Joel Boyce. So we're joined today by Ian McLaughlin. How you doing today, Ian?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for asking. It's been a while since I've seen you since our short film of Bargain. So
Excited to see it.
yeah. So am I. No, it's actually in post production type stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I know. Post.
the usual.
Yeah.
That's good.
Where is it? Where is it? And you're like, ah.
It's on hard drives somewhere. No. It'll be made. I'm just putting together the audio and the video stuff. And for those that don't know, Ian was actually a wonderful sound operator during the a couple of days of our shoot. So we thank him for that as well too. But let's not worry about that. Let's focus on what's in the future here, because obviously Cooked is a local web series that Joel has high hopes for, and I know the community has really rallied around it. How did you get involved with Cook?
Well, no, it was really funny because my background is in audio. Like you were saying before, I graduated from the Music Industry Arts program in Fanshawe, as well. Did the postgraduate audio post production program, and like my experience on the Bargain. I was brought in, for audio purposes, and once I learned the scope of the project was, it was meant to be sort of a two-part long format pilot, and I'm like, well, what's the most, that people are talking when I met him for the initial sort of meeting between them, and he's like, oh, there's up to 6 people in one conversation now. I couldn't accommodate that, like, because it's 6 labs out and probably 2 booms and this and that. So I said, well, I know this guy Steve Scott, and he's really good, so you should probably get him, because I'm not going to be able to help you, but I can help you advise, just like on production, because I knew that it was his first time around, and at the time it was James Zimmerman. He was the initial director. And so I kind of went as an AD, like as an assistant director, and just like, this is what you gotta plan for, and this is how this is how you do things. And then eventually James had to drop out just for personal reasons, and so I kind of slid into the director role. So, but this isn't the first time that I've gone on to a set as just wanting to be the audio guy, and something happens and all of a sudden I'm directing. So I was kind of used to that, although I hadn't done anything at this scope before, so I knew that was going to be a huge challenge. But yeah, that's how we got going, and here we are. We're almost at the finish of the shoot, and yeah, things are good. We have 9 more shoot days, which seems like a lot. But when you started in February, we're close to the end. Yeah, but it's just like the amount of locations and like everything. It's just like we knew that it was going to be a big project, and because of the scope of it, our production value is going to be pretty high, as far as we're here and then we're there and then this is going on and this is, so that's good. Yeah.
Well, you got some great local talent working with you. Obviously Maggie Yole, one of the actresses on there, Walter Reggie, a great guy that we both know.
Yeah. And then Jacob and Brent, and we had a guy, Will Conlon. He came in for one show, and he was just hysterical. He's He's a Toronto actor, and like he's been on like Rookie Blue, and he does a lot of TSN commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was hysterical. So it's like, and we reached like it's yeah. I think we have like just a guess. I want to say 10 main cast members,
Mhm.
and then about 40-ish people with speaking lines. So yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, when Joel said, "Well, yeah, you know, the pilot's going to be about 90 minutes or so," and I'm like, "You realize that that's like an episode of Sherlock, right?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And those are treated like features. You
Exactly.
know, a guy I know who's another director. He came to the set and he's like, "Oh, you know, look, hey, this is great. Like, look at all the people here and everything." And you know, it's like everything was big. And he's like, you know, you're like the Peter Jackson of web series directors. Because, because it's just like these epic tales that just go on and on and on, you know. Not because we have like, you know, $300 million budget, but just because, like I said before, the scope. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Once we get into once we get done the shoot, because of my audio background and working with filmmakers predominantly in London, we have a really good post team set up.
Nice.
So when we get this out, we send, like Walter's going to be doing our editing.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking care of that. And then we're going from, we're sending audio to Wanted post-production. They're doing a Wanted sound and picture, doing, so they're doing a lot of our sound design and our ADR. Final mix will be laid back at Jacasa Studios. It's a new studio that's, it's around, I want to say around the Brantford area. I know it's outside Toronto, but they they have THX certified rooms, and they actually have a Dolby Atmos room in there, and
nice.
So we're going to be doing the final mix in there because the premiere, the feature cut, because we're doing a feature cut for the premiere and not doing like episodic or slicing it up. We're going to be trying to get that at Lakeshore Cinemas.
Nice.
So we need a 5:1 mix, and and it want it laid back so it sounds good, and everybody's hard work pays off. So yeah, we're really excited about getting it off to post, and it's less for me to do as well. So I can take some like a week or two off and collect myself until I dive back in. So.
You know what you're going to have to do, though, once it's actually put out there, you're going to have to get up to Fan Expo in Toronto and get that premiered up that way, too, because you need that type of, because they love web series.
Yeah, and you go there a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see you do like a lot of interviews there.
Yeah, I'm there every year. If you want an official press guy to follow you up there.
Exactly what I was just thinking. Smart guy. Yeah, we'll get you on the team. We'll give you a T-shirt. That's the most.
Sure. As long as I can wear the hat, that's all I care.
You got it. Yeah. But yeah, money's tight right now. So yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, but we did have the fundraiser, so we're not as bad. The other night we had a fundraiser at DH, which is a main location for Cook. That's where if just to reiterate what I'm sure Joel already said, but Cooked is about a bunch of people that work at a restaurant, and it's the stuff that they go through. The reason why I think it's going to do well is because of the amount of the service industry has become, we'll say, more popular as a employment choice, in today's economy. So I think it's going to be a lot more relatable, and lawyers, it's just everybody's gone through it, and a lot of these, and that was another reason why I jumped into the director seat, was because I know all these jokes. I've been there. I've seen these jokes before. Like when I read the script, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that was Jared, like that I worked with at Casey's up on Huron.
Yeah.
So yeah, we knew that was going to go in. I forget what I was saying right before I got sidetracked, but
we were talking about Fan Expo, but that's.
Oh yeah, about Fan Expo. Yeah, I'm a director, so I can't stay on topic for a second. Yeah. So
It's
no,
a,
it's
it's an,
Fan Expo. Yeah, you know what? I've never been to a convention either. Like I've never been to any convention, which is just hysterical because like I'm huge on the comic books. I'm huge onto everything, and I'm trying to get. I even got my like niece into sort of cosplay, right? So
nice.
for Christmas this year, I got her. She's nuts about the 10th Doctor, right?
Okay.
9 years old. Got her into Doctor Who. She understands like time travel and all this stuff. It's like okay. So we got her the Christmas present, and it's like okay. The first thing she opened up, it was like a crappy blue shirt. She's like, oh great, thanks. And then the next thing is like, oh, it's suspenders. Okay. And then it's like, what? There's a bow tie. It's like, oh, what? There's a tweed jacket. What? There's a sonic screwdriver. On and on and on. And then she's nuts. So now we got to. It'd be a good excuse for me to go to like some sort of convention. And I was thinking about doing
The local one here.
well, I could be one of the companions. I could be with the red hair and the police thing.
Of course.
I could pull it off.
Do a gender swap. That's perfect.
I'm all about the gender bend. All about it. So yeah, no, but that'd be great. Fan Expo. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't get this year, then definitely. When do you think it's going to be, quote unquote, finished by?
We're shooting for the fall. I think we're gonna have a print done before that, but you know how it is. Like there's something will come down the pipe where it's like, okay, this isn't fitting, so we have to reshoot, and then da 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 yada yada. So we're shooting for the fall for the release, and a lot of that has to do with how weather sensitive the shoot is. A lot of it was done in the winter, so it just doesn't seem appropriate to be showing a lot of footage with snow all over the place when it's August. So, it's just people don't relate as much. So, yeah. But yeah, so we're looking at a fall release.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. Then save it for whatever save it for next year. Don't put a date on it, and just bring it up to Fan Expo for the next convention. It'll be the 21st year they've had Fan Expo, so that's a good thing to try.
20 years already?
I know, it was the 20th today, this year.
I've never made it to one, yeah.
Well, hey, I only made it to like about 3 of them so far, 3 of 4, so it's not too bad.
Oh.
But let's talk about you're a comic guy, you enjoy comics, you love comics, and well, I have to ask because this is probably on many people's minds. We have Avengers 2 coming out, we have and the Captain America film came out. We have the Batman versus Superman, which is filming in Detroit right now. I mean, Avengers.
We did a sneak peek on the vehicle the other day, and I'm liking the costume choice. I like the big bat. I like the sort of like it's like sort of a Dark Knight Returns or more like I think he modeled it after
Jim Lee style.
Yeah, it did kind of come after that. But there was a Russian, because the rumor was he was doing like the Elseworlds Russian design, and I think that has more to do with like the scaling or whatever. But yeah, I was really surprised to see it. I think Affleck's going to do fine. I'm not worried about that, But it is. I think that what I really find interesting about that release is that I forget what they're putting up against it. The Marvel is putting
Captain America 3.
Yeah, so they're doing 3 against that, which you'd think that they would be putting like Avengers against it or something like that, like a bigger title. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm just thrilled because when I was a kid, the height of superhero movies was those like cheesy Captain America ones, where you had like the clear shield and like that kind of stuff. So we'd never dreamed that we would ever see anything like this. So it's like people always go like, "Oh, I just saw the new Spider-Man 2 and I hated it." I'm like, I'm just thrilled to see anything like this. I'm just it's like Christmas every summer for me, So I'm super thrilled. But I am up to date on all my comic book movies, so I have been.
I still have to watch Thor 2, actually. I'm kind of a little behind in that regard. But do you ever think they're going to do a Wonder Woman film?
Yeah, I know it's. Oh yeah, because they haven't even. I mean, they've alluded to it. The problem with the Wonder Woman movie is that you would have to treat it like a Thor franchise where it's all like gods, right? So her whole background is like Greek gods and stuff like that. So you'd have to really make it a fantasy thing because her rogues gallery is a little on the thin side. I know that. I mean, I've heard that she's making an appearance in the Superman Batman movie, but I'm a little worried that they don't have enough backstory. Like all of a sudden, this person just shows up out of the blue, you know, like. So I'm like, you know, I'll wait till I see it. But it's a lot of stuff. It sounds like Spider-Man 3, where you know, there's just
oh god, the emo version.
Yeah, but in Spider-Man 2, they did a pretty good job about, you know, getting more villains in there. Like I like how they did the Rhino thing. It was like he's just in there at the end, doesn't touch the story, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, spoilers. But
I haven't seen it yet, so thanks. Appreciate it. That's all right. I'll see it eventually. The one thing I am hearing about that Batman Superman or Superman Batman film is that they're apparently Wonder Woman they're saying she's Kryptonian, which is ironic, and Cyborg is supposed to be in it as well.
Yeah, I did hear Cyborg, but they're. Wow, Kryptonian?
Yeah.
That's a little bit of retcon, like, out of control there.
Tiny bit.
But,
I know. Why?
Back to the comic stuff, like, if I could, I stumbled across this great comic for any, like, filmmakers, since we're kind of talking about filmmaking as well. Mm-hmm. There's a book called The Auteur. It's on issue 3 right now. It is hold on, I think I got it right up here. It's by Oni Press. So it's a smaller label. It's written by Rick Spears and James Callahan is the artist, and it's kind of like Garth Ennis trying to do comedy, right? So it's like really surreal, really adult content, and it's about this sort of sociopathic film producer who just tries to make these, like, you know, ridiculous movies. So he's trying to make slasher movies. So he's also a lawyer. So he goes and gets a serial killer off a murder charge to consult, you know, on the set, and then, you know, hijinks, you know.
Mayhem ensues.
Yeah, mayhem ensues. Yeah, but the Auteur, I was just like, and the covers are great because they're almost like these, you know, Dali-esque sort of covers that have really nothing to do with you know, the story, but they're great. They're great.
Do you have one by you?
What's that?
Do you have one of them like near you that you could grab, or?
Oh no, I went to another to another filmmaker.
No.
Yes, I'm like, you have to read these. Yeah, but they're great. Yeah, what else has been really good lately? I was really cold at first to the Brian Posehn Deadpool, like him picking up the writing for Deadpool. I've always been a huge Deadpool fan. I know it's like he's just super popular over, you know, exposed guy. But at first I was like a little. It came off like a bit like Mad Magazine, you know, like it was really hyper comedy. And then, but now he's sort of settled in. He's found his own voice. I think that's really good. Saga, of course, was really great. Mm-hmm. There was another Image title, which I haven't seen a new issue in a while. I don't know if they dropped it. I got to find out. But Prophet. It's a reboot of Rob Liefeld's superhero, the sort of the Shatterstar Image version, and then. But the book was really great because it was like. It was sort of like a Ridley Scott-esque, you know, sort of universe that they created. I really liked it. Yeah, but it was like heavy metal. It was like Ridley Scott wrote heavy metal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but it's out there. It's like it's a little out there. But yeah.
What about
any recommendations from you?
Hmm?
Any recommendations from you?
Well, you know me. I'm not much of the. Mainstream stuff. I'm more of the webcomic, graphic novel type stuff. So, like, I'm not sure if this might interest you or not, but series I've read before is called Guns of Shadow Valley. It's.
I've heard of it. Yeah. A lot of people tell me, yeah, you gotta read this. You gotta read this.
Dave Wachter and oh gosh, I can't think of the last name.
Put you on the
There's
spot.
two guys. It's I interviewed him, but there's that there, and if you love comics, you'll probably love the comedy aspect of this. It's called The Gutters, so it's the-gutters.com
Right.
by Blind Fair Entertainment, Ryan Sommer and Laura De Souza, and it's hilarious. I mean, it literally takes pot shots at Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, everyone,
Yeah.
and it's the funniest thing here. Let me grab the book real quick.
Yeah. I'd like to see it cover.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, it's like all the famous picture of like working on working on, I think that was the Empire State Building. Yeah.
But then you get different artists.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's like a huge big like bound hardcover thing, eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's great.
But
Yeah.
it's a great series. This is like volume 1, but they're into like volume 2, 3, maybe 4 even by now.
Right.
But it's hilarious. They grab different creators, different digital and traditional creators, and they just bring them into this thing, and they have a blast. And it's really bridged the gap between online comics and traditional. And
Right.
it brought a whole new fan base to both. So, like, I mean, the first one that was the funniest for me. Speaking of Captain America, and you'll have to go to the website. It's still on there, but. You know how Captain America always, they eventually kill him off and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, with like the time bullet. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, we all loved that.
Well, it's like whoever the replacement for Captain America was, like, you don't want to be Captain America? Not anymore. It's now it's your turn to wield the, well, you're still going to fight evil. Well, yeah, but not as Captain America. No, then who? As Steve, I guess. Really? Steve, just Steve? Look out, it's Steve. Please save us.
Yeah, like you don't see a lot of great comedy, and like I mean, the first like real funny thing I ever read was The Tick, right? Like and
the TV series was hilarious.
yeah, I used to get those like what ifs, like Marvel did like a sort of a comedy run where these guys had like big huge heads and stuff like that in the 80s. But yeah, like I am totally down with comic books being funny. Who would have guessed that comics could be funny? Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. It's like, wait, the serious medium that we have is meant to be humorous? What? That's impossible.
What?
Not now, Dr. Zoidberg.
Oh, speaking of like voiceover stuff, I saw a great documentary. It's called "I Know That Voice."
Yes. Yeah.
And that, yeah, man, like, and just
it's amazing.
yeah, and it really like I love like because audio, we do a lot of ADR, we do a lot of stuff like that, and like really good voice guys they're just another breed. Oh man, I thought if I could do anything, like if I could like win the career lottery.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wish I could do. I wish I could be like the voiceover guy. Yeah.
You really have to see. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not, but you know how at comic conventions you usually get voice actors.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Force of habit. I've been in the industry a little long. Let me just say this: if you ever want to waste a couple of hours of your day, /life, and time, and it is totally worth it, look up voice actors Star Wars reading.
Oh.
And
go ahead.
Yeah. So I saw a more recent one. Emerald City Comic Con did one, and the guy that did the voices of pretty much all of the Winnie the Pooh characters, did Winnie the Pooh as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Tigger as Princess Leia, and a variety of others, like the Animaniacs guys were there, and the girl, the woman that does Bubbles, and among others, and Invader Zim, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
my friend did show me a clip of it, and it was just like it's like. where are the plans to Alderaan? You know?
That's great.
Yeah, no, voice guys are great. I always did voices when I was a kid, and my sisters would always be like, do this one and do this one and do this one, and now I've got, and then I would get angry at it, and I'd get really mad at them, and then I wouldn't do it again. So now they got their kids like bothering me to do, like, now do the voices, Uncle Ian. And it's like, and I can't say no to them, so it's like it goes on and on and on. But, I'm not doing any right now. None.
Well, but yeah, you just sit and watch. Like when you have Kevin Conroy doing the voice of Batman, narrating Star Wars, you know it's pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, Conroy, that's butter right there. That's great.
Well, but the woman, I forget her name, that does Bubbles also voiced Harley Quinn from the Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
As well, who worked with, of course, oh gosh, wow, Mark Hamill. Wow, that was a total brain fart there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's that? I don't know.
Yeah, some guy that maybe was in a sci-fi film or 2 or 3. But it was funny. I saw a Vine once where it was like Mark Hamill and had did his Joker voice and Harley did hers, and it's like, it was just like, okay, this is just like instant. Okay, I'm saving this to my phone. That's my message tone now. So.
Yeah. I know. Well, the only voiceover that I'm going to try to do, like, because I wanted to get a cameo somewhere on Cooked, So I think I'm going to be the guy who says, like, previously Uncooked. Like, I'm going to do that voice at the beginning. That's going to be my cameo. But yeah, speaking of that, have you been watching Fargo?
No, I haven't actually. I've been so swamped with school because I haven't had time.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. But Fargo's been a real great surprise. At first, I thought the Coen brothers were involved in it, but they're not. I don't think they have anything to do with it. But it still has that flavor. But speaking of those voiceovers at the beginning, when Fargo starts, it says "erstwhile on Fargo." That was a nice touch. I like that.
That's interesting. Good touch there. No, I've been the only shows I've been able to keep up on is Arrow, which is, I don't know if you've seen that yet, but that's
watched every episode. I'm a TV junkie. I've seen it. Yeah.
But the new Flash series that's coming out, it just looks amazing.
That trailer was something else. Everyone is a little panicked and they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And it's like,
if you saw him as Barry in the Arrow series when he did his cameo, he did a great job of it, and they just added to it with the spin-off. It's
I like that they're integrating stuff now, because that's what, like, they're doing it with the movies, and they're kind of taking that cue from Marvel that an expanded universe is the way to go when it comes to comics, because that's why they work with comics. You got to read the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, I got to read this issue because it ties into this, and that's something that they've known forever. When Marvel did it. I think the best way that Marvel did it was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen the Captain America 2, Winter Soldier, and I saw it like maybe the either opening or the next day. It was right off the bat. And then as soon as the Tuesday comes around, I put on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you would have been lost if you hadn't seen Winter Soldier. And it was like to take that step where it's like, oh no, you kind of didn't have to see. Oh, we don't want to commit to it. No, they went both feet in. You had to see both to know what was going on. And I was like, oh, thank God we got to that point, because for somebody like me, it was great, because I have all the time in the world directing TV shows to
to catch a flick,
Yeah, well, that's why I only sleep a couple hours a night, because I gotta catch up on my shows.
But it's good to see that at least the industry now is taking a serious approach to creating these shows. I mean, Smallville was their first real attempt, I think, and mixed reviews. I watched all 10 seasons of that, and shallow in some areas. They brought in some okay characters, but it didn't have the same production value that Arrow and Flash and all those other series had. So.
They finished on a high note, but there was a middle part where it was like,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I loved it, and the way that they get around the sort of like the rights too, like he can't be the Green Arrow, he's the Arrow. He's not Superman, he's the Blur. But the Flash, they seem to have full rights for,
Yeah, which is
right
surprising.
title and everything. Yeah, so I hope that that keeps on. It's not a big deal, but
It is.
it kind of makes my inner 10-year-old, when I see that kind of stuff.
Uh, for me, it was great to see John Barrowman finally back in another TV series because I love Torchwood and just him in
Yeah,
Arrow was just like, whoa, all right, that's awesome.
yeah, and he just seems like such a nice guy too. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So, but with the Flash, like, because I was a big Flash reader. Less on the DC stuff later. I was just kind of disappointed with the 52 stuff, but that's another story. But the Flash, like, I just want to see Professor Zoom. Like, I want to see Reverse Flash
yeah.
because he has to be one of the like most evil villains that have ever existed. Like he's just a very not so nice guy, and I don't know how they could pull that off like on a show.
He,
But yeah, Reverse Flash. Oh yeah.
I have an idea. I think I know who it is, to be honest. And
Yeah, the wheelchair.
the wheelchair guy, yeah, or doctor,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's the only thing I could see as the
That was
main
my
aspect.
first time too. Yeah, yeah. But
Watch they totally do a reverse on us, and it's not him. It's like, oh, come
yeah, it's like a misdirection or something like that. But
So, with everything that's going on with you, though, I mean, besides the audio stuff, besides Cooked and everything like that, let me ask a couple of questions your way, just a more of a personal philosophical aspect.
sure.
Um, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Uh, it's mostly from music. Like I try to do a lot of. There's a lot of like analogous ways to approach music that you could put into filmmaking. You can put into anything. Like as far as like I play a lot of instruments. I'm like one of those guys. I can pick anything up and sort of play it. But when I started getting into producing and helping people get what they want, that's really what I found a passion about. And so like producing music isn't so different than producing video or anything on that end. I'll give you a good example. When we first had our first pre-production meeting for the show, we knew that we had a lot of first times, or more or less experienced sort of people taking on such an ambitious project. So I came up with the idea that let's treat this like it's punk rock. Let's treat this like we know we're gonna hit the wrong notes. We know that we might not be able to play our instruments as well as some other people, but as long as we own it and as long as we try to do the best we can, then that spirit's going to come out into the production, and I think that has happened. So basically, to round that up, it's like we're punk rock, we hit the wrong notes, but damn if we're good. So yeah, so I draw a lot of stuff from music, and when you see or like when you're trying to read a script and think about like beats to the script, there's almost like beats to a tune, like here's the middle, oh here's the chorus, and like here's the the big ending, right? So yeah, I'd have to say that.
Good stuff. Um, hmm.
Did I just blow your mind?
Takes a lot to do that.
What's that?
Takes a lot to do that. Um, what was one of your most creative mistakes on this particular shoot?
Yeah, mistakes. Yeah, you do have a few like that slip by, and then you're like, you know what, that's great. But I'd have to like give, I'd have to give that credit to the actors because I try not to be so rigid with production, and I let we let people riff, and we let the camera roll, and we let them do stuff. But there was one scene. It was a little while ago, and Christian we were trying to figure out how to get this guy from a bathroom over to a bed, and basically we couldn't figure out a way to do it in like 6 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, it was like we had 6 seconds to do this one pan shot, and then he's supposed to be backwards, upside down in bed, and shirtless and this and that. So what we did was, they didn't tell me they were going to do this. The guys were helping him out from the bathroom over to the bed, and then they just threw him over the bed against the wall, falls down. Then they go, and then they drag him up, rip his shirt off, and then throw him down. And it was like, first take, that's it, got it. But yeah, it's stuff like that. It's like, when you want to be rigid, there's times to be rigid and there's times not to be rigid. And when you're rigid, it doesn't allow for those sort of happy accidents. And but there are times when you have to be rigid, when there's like, okay, we got a car coming through a wall, and we don't have that in the show, but like, if you were to have something like a big budget special effect, yeah, you have to be rigid about that. But when it comes to letting the actors be the actors, and sometimes those happy accidents do happen. If that answers your question.
Sure. It works for me. You've been in the industry a long time, so you're professionally successful. Do you consider yourself personally successful?
No. No. I mean, I am, like, personally. No, I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, like, you just keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it, and you're always going to keep doing it. But when it's like you're your own worst critic, right? So I could make the best thing I've ever done, and I'm never gonna like it, and it's kind of it's good and it's bad to be that way, because you push yourself a little bit more and you want to do more, but yeah, it usually takes me about 3 beers before I start to like my stuff. After I see the print. And then after that, it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and then, but no, I have a very difficult time listening or watching, some of the stuff I've done with people in the room. Like, I mean, it's not that I'm ashamed or anything. It's just like, I'm just a little introverted that way. So. Yeah, it's a two-way question, I guess. But on one hand I am, and the other hand it's like, oh, yeah.
What do you fear the most?
Fear the most. Jeez. I fear film gear and audio gear getting rained on and destroyed, and I'm responsible for it.
Whoops.
I've been lucky enough to never come through that, but it's just like, I'm constantly like, are we okay? Are we, because we go to all these locations, and it's like, is anybody watching the gear? No. What? Somebody go back, watch the gear.
I thought that was your job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's more of a joke answer, I guess. But I don't know. Fear the most. That's. I guess it's never being able to do what we do. I think that's probably it. Like, if I wasn't able to keep creating in some way. Yeah.
The younger generation are looking towards yourself and what you've done in your career, and looking towards Cooked as an inspirational show, in essence. It's going to be completed. It's going to do very well, I'm sure, and it'll put Windsor on the map finally. Not only for feature films, as we've had 2, hopefully 3, but also the potential for an actual long-running web series. How can they become inspirational to the generation that follows them?
I think, and it's if I get what you mean, is it like how to inspire younger filmmakers or around here? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
What you always find a lot, especially with film students, is that there's you can't see the forest through the trees, and you can't. A lot of filmmakers will be obsessed with, getting the shot right, and like, so we got a jib, and now we got the dolly, and like everything, and it's like, oh, and there's this and that, and and a lot of projects never get finished because there's either not the sense of urgency to get it done, or there's maybe they're worried about other details, but when you make something, and this is anything creative, whether it's painting, whether it's whether it's music, whether it's video, TV, movie, whatever, you just put it out there. Don't be too concerned with, and I think this is what we're doing in Cook. This is why I'm saying this. Don't be too concerned with with getting things perfect. Like more the content is more important than than how visually pleasing it is and how this great move and everything. Because if you're worried about those kind of stuff, like I was saying before, how I hate all my stuff, you'll never get it out. Like look at guys like Lloyd Kaufman, like Troma, or these filmmakers like Kevin Smith, Clerks. Like these weren't perfect movies, but they were funny, and they were cheap, and they were good, and the acting wasn't so great, and but as long as you just get it out there, then you'll learn from that, and then you'll go to the next step, and then you'll go to the next step, and then you go to the next step. But if you don't take the first step, or the second step, or the third step, you're not going to get any much further than that. And with the show, I know it's not going to be the slickest thing ever, and I know it's not going to be, we're not like 90% of the time we're just running around with a camera, like no steady, we're literally just holding it on a monopod, just getting the shot so we can put it in the can and we can finish it and move on. And and that's that's been probably the biggest thing that I've learned off this is get it done and get it out. It's kind of like sending your kids off to college. Like you put them in a car and let them go.
If you're going to drink, at least send me back a case, just so I know your money's going to good use.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I really want people to take from it is don't be afraid to put your stuff out there, and and just somebody might see it and they might like it. That's all you can really hope for.
Yeah, definitely, and good stuff. Is there anything that I haven't brought up that you'd like those that are watching and listening to this to know about? Like maybe your own personal website and or whatever else?
Well, I mean, you can always check out the Cooked Facebook page. That's always good. We always like to get our likes up on that. Once we start looking for some sort of distribution, it always helps to have those numbers up. I am working on a project right now. I'm helping a gentleman, Kevin Grant. He's my writing partner for Musically, and he's I think it's like July 18th. He's doing an art project with the painter Vinnie Vachon,
okay,
and Ervan Beneteau, I think he's otherwise known as, and they're doing a musical sort of painting, like simultaneous art project. So I'm helping out getting that set up right now, and that I can't remember exactly where it is, but I know it's on July 18th. But it should be a lot of fun. If anybody knows Kevin or Vinny, they're pretty hysterical individuals. So that's what I got down the pipe. Is aside from the next 10 years of color correction and editing for the show. But that's great. Yeah, but thank you.
Oh, no problem. The joy of being a person that has many hats and not much time. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I do have a couple days off, but I get to and I do all of our data management too. So I've got about 6 terabytes of labeling to keep you busy, and I got a bottle of wine and a keyboard. So yeah, should be good.
Why are these all labeled?
Yeah. Just face roll. Face roll. Yeah. I can't wait to get done because my guild over at Star Wars: The Old Republic, they think I'm dead. So Like,
I
yeah,
haven't felt this disturbance in the force for a very, very long time. Oh no, it's just Ian.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Or Darth, where the hell have you been?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I'm Don Solo. That's my Don Solo. Hey, Don Solo. Come on.
Hey, you're done. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
All right.
we look forward to getting this out there and showing it to everybody. And the support's been tremendous. Not only the generosity from the cast and the crew that have given us their free time, but the generosity from the people that helped us out with the fundraiser the other day. Like it really, like, I haven't had this sense of community. As a creator in a long time, because I haven't always lived in Windsor. I was either in Alberta or I was in London or wherever, and you don't see this kind of thing, and you do see this kind of thing, but not to this extent in other cities. And it's moving. It's truly moving. That even though we're doing this interview here right now, that anybody could have an interest in us making our funny little show. It's surreal sometimes. So thank you.
Oh no, not a problem, not a problem. And I always hate to say this, but that ends this episode of Two Geeks Talking, episode 376, with, of course, Ian McLaughlin from the Cook series, as well as many other amazing products there. Thanks again, Ian, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Oh, awesome! Anytime.
And you can always find us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TGT Media, where you'll be viewing this particular interview and many others. You can also find us on our iTunes channel, itunes.com, and search Two Geeks Talking, and that's the word two. And finally, if you want to help support us on our Patreon account, that's patreon.com/Two Geeks Talking. And if you want to support us for $1 a month or however much you want to help us with this show, as we've been doing this for 6 years and 600 plus interviews, all for free. Any little bit helps. But thanks everyone for listening and watching. And tune in next interview for, who do we have? We have Keith DiCandido, or DiCandido, I should say, who's a comics person of many years, and look forward to chatting with him later on for our next interview. And thanks everyone again for watching.
Hey, thanks.